In this lesson, we're going to be matching perspective to an existing environment. So in our last lesson, we were able to draw a complex object using perspective to help us fine-tune our sketch. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to now take an existing environment that we actually have a vanishing point and a perspective, and we're going to draw something in so that we can match this environment. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new layer, and we'll just call this our, how about our trajectory? And then let's go grab our line tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find our vanishing point using some trajectory lines. We can pick a nice fill color, something that will complement our existing environment. How about pink? And then let's go ahead and we're going to be creating a shape. We'll do that first one. So maybe we'll start way up here. And we can bring this all the way down. And then maybe we'll grab from down in here. This looks like a pretty straight line. We can just pull this straight through. So it looks like we are meeting right here, and then maybe we can pull from the top up here. So it looks like we have found our perspective pretty quickly. I'm going to just pull one more. And it looks like we're lining up right about here. Awesome. So that didn't take much time at all to find our vanishing point. I can even take this sidewalk, I believe. Yep. Awesome. All right. So now we know where our trajectory or where our vanishing point is. So one thing that we could do is we could go ahead and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. And I'm going to group this up, and we kind of have like a little average of kind of like where all these are hitting. So maybe we'll just make a little polygon or a little, how about an ellipse. Didn't mean to grab that one. And maybe we'll pick something that stands out. Blue, or even, oh, actually we have a lot of yellow and other colors. How about red? And I'm going to draw an ellipse just about right here. I'm going to hold Alt so that I'm drawing from the center. I'll just put that right there. And then I can actually close out the rest of those there. And so now now that I know where my vanishing point is, I'm going to create a new layer. And this will be our sketch. And so we kind of need to know what we want to put in here. So maybe I'll start it about here, and it's going to be about this tall. And how about, a trash can would just be a couple of ellipses that we would kind of join up. But how about let's draw a mailbox? So this will be a little bit more challenging. And so we'll just go ahead and sketch that out. I'm going to grab pencil, and then we'll just grab this 6-pixel pencil. This is a 2B pencil, and maybe we'll bring that to about 6 or so. But for the color, I'm not going to use gray. I'm going to use something that'll kind of stand out, like this bright green or something like that. Now we can zoom in. And so we do have a nice little foundation down here that we can kind of play off of. So we do know that, luckily we do have this little cube, which is perfect. And so that we know that we could have a mailbox about this size, so we could have the legs about in there. So we know that we want the height to be about that high or so. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I think that would work. So I can actually just kind of take this straight up, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the face of this mailbox. And so it may be the mailbox is straight on top and then has like an angle down like that, something like that. And then so maybe it's like has a little lip or something like that, and then a steep angle, and then it just kind of goes straight back. And then what we can do is we can use our trajectory lines. So I could actually I'm gonna try this out. So I just have my regular pencil. I'm gonna click this once. I'm gonna hold Shift and click there. So it didn't quite work the way I would like it to. Let's go ahead and change our brush though. So how about now if I click, let's go ahead and take a look at our brush settings. Oh yeah, we need to turn off our shape dynamics. There we go. It's pretty thick. I'm going to bring that down to like 1 pixel. There we go. And then to this edge, and then down here to that corner. So then from there, I have this lip here, and then our lip's going to be about there. And so now we kind of have some idea of at least where we can start to shape this up. So now I'm going to go back to my 2B pencil. I'm going to bring that size back down to 6. And then that color, use that green. So now I know I can at least go straight up from this mark. And then I need to kind of follow that curve around. And then this is where I can go ahead and bring that straight back. So we have this, just this little lip here. I'm going to go ahead and bring the thickness of this lip down. Because we have this that comes up about here, and then it will follow that trajectory, and this will come straight back, just like that. And then we can even start to clean this up a little. So we would actually even have a little area, like a recess inside that trash can, or not trash can, that mailbox. And we'd have a little handle or something that we'd open up. So something like that. Awesome. All right, so now we have this object here that's kind of roughed in. So what we can do now is we can clean this up a little more. We can actually maybe create a face for this. So maybe we will, let's go ahead and grab our pen tool. And I'm going to create a shape. And I want this shape to be maybe like a gray or something. I'm going to create, I'll just create a new layer, put it underneath this mailbox so I can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to tap here, I'm going to hold Shift because this needs to be completely straight up and then straight over. And then from here, I need to click on this angle that I have, hold Shift to bring it straight down and then straight over like that. So now I have this face for my mailbox at least. And so if I wanted to rasterize that, I could do that as well. So let me just go ahead and I'll rasterize that layer, no big deal. So now I have the face just like that. And then we can, I'm going to draw the back part of this shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mailbox layer and I'm going to choose a blending mode that will help me see through it. So I'm just going to choose multiply. I'm going to make a new layer and I'm going to make it this back shape for this mailbox here. I'm just going to use my pen tool though. And I'm going to now kind of follow along with our trajectory that we've created. Actually, let's choose something a little bit different. I do want just a little bit clearer guide of how this is going to go. So actually what I could do, I actually want for my shape 6, I want this to go out this far because I want it to follow this trajectory line. So what I could do is I could actually add a point right there. And then I'm going to grab this point now and I'm going to bring it over just like that. And then I'm going to come over and hit Alt and clean that up. Just a little trick there. And then I'm going to put this point right where I need it to be. And I can now follow the rest of my trajectory, or the rest of my shape. Hold Shift and come down. And then I'm actually going to hide that, and I'm going to now match this up here with the rest of my shape. And so I don't really even need to come back that far. You can if you want, just as long as you match up that shape. So for this shape, I'm going to go ahead and rasterize it. So right click and we'll rasterize that layer. And then let's take a look here. So what I'm going to do is, so it looks like we have some light shining on this side. So for this shape 6, I'm going to hit Control L. We'll just make that just a little bit lighter than this side, because it looks like there's more of a shadow on this side of everything. So you can see how it looks like we now have this shape that is in space that is a little bit better, or I mean, excuse me, a little bit like more filled in than just some sketches out there. And then I'm going to do another thing here. So let's take a look at our sketch. Looks like we have this recess. Looks like we do have this band here, and we can create a lot of this just by our lasso tool. So we do have this line that will go across the top. So I'm going to hide that little sketch area, and I'm going to lock down my transparency. Let's just grab our lasso. I'm going to line up these little pieces like that. Oops. Hit one extra. There we go. And I can now hit Control L. Maybe I'll lighten up the top part. Hit OK. And then this little part right here, I'm going to use my lasso. So remember, this is like a recess. Actually, I'm going to try that over again. I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. Take a look at my sketch. Looks like I have this little part in here. I'm going to make this part darker. So I'm going to take my lasso, bring that, I'm going to hold Shift to make it just a straight line back. And come up. And then just kind of connect those lines just like that. And I keep doing that. One extra click. I'm going to hit Control L. Make that part a little bit darker. You see now what's happening here. We have a little bit more dimension happening. And maybe I'll even take this little piece and Control L. Lighten this up a little bit. Control D. See, now it looks like we're getting a little bit more dimension for this mailbox. So from here we could actually come in and start to paint and add some graphics, something like that, to kind of match up this mailbox that we've added. Maybe we'll add a shadow that's kind of being cast up over here. We could even take and draw in like a little handle, something like that, for this little trash can or mailbox, whatever it is that we have going on here. Maybe we could even, so if we took our mailbox, I'm going to create a new layer. This will be our band. And I'm going to grab our pen tool. And I'm just going to follow along here with our trajectory. And then let's take a look here. I'll put this at the top. And for our fill should be like red, or maybe more of like a darker red. And then I'll hide our mailbox. And I'm going to go ahead and rasterize this layer. It looks like we could have adjusted. I'm going to Control Z that. I'm going to go ahead and grab this point. I'm just holding Control. I'm just grabbing that point. Just going to line it up. And now I'm going to rasterize it. And I'm going to get my marquee tool. I'm just going to grab this face of that rasterized layer and lock down my transparency. Just lighten up that red a little bit. Control L for my levels. Control D. So now we have just a little band here on our mailbox that we've done. So we can add, a little graphic or whatever we wanted to our mailbox. And so now we've added this complex, more of a complex object here. And we've allowed it to match our existing perspective. And so that brings us to the end of this lesson and the end of this course. And so take these techniques for being able to find perspective in real life and to kind of just take note of our vanishing points and just different ways that we can just make our drawings a little bit more realistic and have true perspective. So I hope you've enjoyed this course, and thank you for watching, and have a great day.